Are you ready for the God of Thunder to return to the MCU? We're getting some new reports today, and it does appear Marvel Studios will indeed be developing a Thor 5, but this time minus one key crew member. Let's talk about it. Now, before we dive into the latest on the God of Thunder, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates, and don't forget to check out that merch shelf. It's a great way to support the channel. Well, many of us Thor fans have been, for the most part, pretty satisfied with Thor in the MCU. Honestly, Kenneth Branagh did a pretty good job with 2011's Thor, and although not everybody's a fan, there are some pretty great highlight moments in Alan Taylor's Thor: The Dark World. Now, The Dark World was met with a lot of disappointment from many fans. There were a lot of people that didn't like it, and that's when they brought in Taika Waititi, who basically reinvented the hero and gave us a spectacular film in Thor: Ragnarok. Sadly, lightning didn't strike twice, because last year's Thor: Love and Thunder, although it did okay at the box office, quite honestly was a pretty big disappointment for many fans. Many people have argued that Waititi was basically given too much freedom on the project, and even Chris Hemsworth himself has acknowledged that the movie kinda missed the mark and often was either too silly or too focused on comedy. Now, since then, Bob Iger has dove back into the CEO position at Disney and suggested that Marvel would need to focus less on sequels, making us wonder if the God of Thunder was going to get another film. But now we've got a new report that indicates Thor 5 is officially in development. Now, this report does come from Daniel Richtman. So, like we always say, it's not from Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios, so we want to take it with a grain of salt. But he is indeed reporting that Marvel is currently working on Thor 5. But Taika Waititi will not be returning for the next project, and they are on the hunt for a new director to put a brand new spin on this particular character. Now, I find this pretty interesting because several of the trades have recently debunked a fifth installment being in the works. But since those reports, the WGA strike ended, and we do know Marvel and Disney want to focus on those profitable franchises, especially the ones that call back to the original Avengers, and Thor and Hulk are basically the last men standing on that front, so this does make a lot of sense. Thor: Love and Thunder wrapped up setting the stage for a massive hero battle with the Olympian Hercules, and I have the distinct feeling that is indeed the story we will see play out in the upcoming film. I do think the next Thor project will likely be much darker, a little more serious, and hopefully dive into some Thor villains that we've never seen, in addition to seeing this clash with Hercules. Now, the question remains who will end up directing the film, and when will we see it? And I have to say, I think it's going to be a little bit. Like I said, Marvel hasn't officially announced this movie, and although Thor will likely be in the Kang Dynasty, I think it might be a couple of years before he returns back in his own solo film, and more than likely that would be just before Secret Wars. Now, who ends up directing the film? That's totally up in the air. There are a lot of great choices out there, and Marvel has some pretty great directors already in their employ. Some people have even suggested Shang-Chi's Destin Daniel Cretton could reinvent the hero and drive a new solo film, but that's still total speculation.